Many of you are likely watching this video just after the first quarter, and one key question is, how did the US economy perform in Q1? It matters because the plastics industry is mature and tends to follow broader economic trends. Earlier this year, the IMF projected US GDP growth at 2.4%, up from 2.1% last year. In my January forecast, I projected 2% growth for 2026, with first quarter growth around 1.3%. We'll get the official number at the end of April, but a few key themes likely shape Q1 economic activity. First, weather. A severe winter slowed economic activity, including consumption, with some effects showing up in February by way of lower hiring of workers. Second, trade and tariffs. Even with recent Supreme Court ruling on reciprocal tariffs, ongoing policy shifts like Section 232 action and temporary tariffs continued to influence businesses. Last year, many companies absorbed higher tariffs due to pre-existing contracts. This year, firms are pricing in risk premiums, especially for imports, which can affect demand, margins, and pricing. Third is geopolitics. Ongoing conflicts have pushed energy prices higher, particularly at the gas pump, pressuring household budgets. Yet consumer spending started strong with personal consumption expenditures up 2.4% year over year in January. Whether or not that continued in February and March remains to be seen. Gasoline demand is relatively price inelastic, meaning higher prices often shift or delay spending rather than reduced it outright. Despite these headwinds, the outlook for Q1 GDP remains resilient. The Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta's GDP Now model is tracking growth at 2% as of March 23rd, while the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia's survey of professional forecasters projects 2.6%, up from earlier estimates. This would mark the eighth consecutive quarter of U.S. growth above potential. The key point is this. Against the backdrop of weather disruptions, evolving trade policies, and geopolitical pressures, the U.S. economy likely maintained momentum in Q1. The adverse impact of recent geopolitical conflicts is unlikely to show up in the Q1 data, but following quarters. For plastics, demand fundamentals remain intact, but the operating environment is more complex than last year, particularly around pricing, margins, and global trade dynamics. So, what can businesses do? One word: objectivity. Avoid over reliance on any single lens, political, policy driven, or otherwise. Balanced objectives, perspective help identify both risks and opportunities, supporting better decisions and protecting margins. I am Perc Pineda, Chief Economist of the Plastics Industry Association.